the first video of the new year, but I'm still filming this in 2025 and I can't wait for this shit to be fucking over. But in the essence of a new year, I thought we'd talk about all the books I am excited to read in 2026. First of all, before I get into this, so many of these are arcs. I am very lucky that this is my job, so don't ask why I have so many books. I have 1,000 plus books to read. It's about 50-50 split between ebooks and physicals, and I have like 20 odd audiobooks. Additionally, I only ask for arcs that I want. Sometimes I get sent them without me asking for anything, but the ones on my TBR, like priority, are always going to be ones that I've actually wanting to read. And also there was another thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I read 250 books plus in 2025. And so I think there's about 25 books here that I've put on my TBR. These are just like, they're all going to be on here for different reasons, whether it's they've been on my arc to read for a long time, I feel bad, I need to get a review to the publisher, or I just have wanted to read them for a long time. Anyways, we'll go through it, but I'm not going to go too in depth about each book, so this is just a short video. But if we have the same books on our TBRs, let's fucking try and get these read in 2026. I'm determined. Starting with the Modern Trauma Toolkit. I actually can't even remember how I found this book, but it has been on my TBR for years. I also have gone / am going through a lot of trauma, so the PTSD aspect and healing is center and key for me and has been for a while, and so this is super relevant to me and my life, and definitely one of the top books I want to read in 2026. Then we have Divine Rivals, which I got sent. Not an arc, finished copies, but still, what the fuck? How cool is that? I got sent the entire series. But yeah, again, Divine Rivals has been on my TBR for a long time, and I got sent it, so I want to read it ×2, because when I get sent stuff, I'm like, I need to get to this as quick as possible, which is not quick at all. I've had it for about a year, but still. Then Cultish. Again, similar to the Modern Trauma Toolkit, I actually think it's been on my TBR around the same amount of time. I'm really excited to read it. I love the cover of it. Oh my god, it's brilliant. I've seen mixed reviews, but it sounds like something I would enjoy. Then Lie With Me. This got recommended, I think, because I obviously love, if you don't know the lore, do your research. Call Me By Your Name. So yeah, I'm very excited for that, because I feel like there's not a lot of writing out there that is similar-ish to that, which I love. That's the kind of writing that I really love. Then we have this book. Oh, sorry. Which I got for Christmas. I begged Bloomsbury to send me this and they didn't. However, I'll get on to the next book because they did send me that one. I begged Bloomsbury for 3 books. I begged them for this one, I begged them for Revolve, which they did send me, and I begged them for Bridgens and Bread Knives, which they also did send me. I've already read Revolve, loved it, but yeah, this is the one they didn't send me, but I wanted this so bad. If you don't know, I'm Patty stan. Have Patty tattoos, seen Patty live, have read almost all of her books. This is just, you know, she's me. Like, I just resonate so deeply with her. I feel like she is me, you know? So yeah, I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited. And I feel like this is my only hardbook Patty book that I have, but That's because the softback is not out yet. But yeah, then we have Bridges and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry. I have read the entire series. I begged that man, okay, I begged him to write this book, and he did, so here we are. And it was so wait, no, I think Bridges and Bread Knives was by Pan Mac. I can't remember now. I think it was Pan Mac who sent me that one. But I begged Bloomsbury to send me Revolve and Bread of Angels, and they only sent me Revolve. But I think Pan Mac sent me Bridges and Bread Knives. Either way, whichever publishers, I love you. You're real for that. Yeah, because I literally got on my platforms and begged for I've never done that. And you probably won't catch me doing that again. But because I did that, I feel like I need to read that. But it is, I've said this before, it's like one of those books where I don't want to read it because then it means that the series has ended and I'm not ready for that. Like, no, thank you. Like, it's literally been one of my favorite series. I love Travis Baldry so much, and so I'm hesitant because I'm like, I don't want this to end, so no thanks. But I have a feeling I'm gonna love it, so I really should. And also, like, my friend, one of my best friends, got me the prequel signed by him. Come on. I'm so, like, this is a book that I am a stan of, right? So this is deep for me. It's deep. Speaking of books that I don't want to read because I don't want the series to finish, is Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. Yeah, I know this is book number 2 and there's 5 books. I have all books, and I actually got sent the fucking ARC for the last one. I literally went to the publishers face to face and I was like, tell Liz I want to marry her and to please give me her, like, the newest book, thank you. And they did. So, but I know it's book 2, but I'm like, if the closer I get to the end, the sadder I'm gonna get. But the first book was just so brilliant, and I've heard people say that it's the worst of the series, and I was like, if that's the worst and the rest, I'm not even ready. But yeah, I want it so bad. So I will read it. I do have it. I'm just hesitant. Okay. Then I want to read the audiobook of Eyes, Guts, Throats and Bones. I can't remember for the life of me where I saw this. I think it was literally just in a Waterstones, and I was like, that looks really good. And then I have the audiobook on Spotify. And yeah, it just seems up my street. Although I will say I'm again hesitant, but for a different reason, to read this, because I just finished Hyde, which, not a similar vibe, but similar-ish genre, not at all the same plot, but that was quite disappointing. So I'm like, I would say, like, out of all of these, this might be near the bottom, but still, it's up there. Then I need to read Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White, because the spirit bares its teeth. Yeah, that was the book of 2025 for me, bitch. That was it. And the good thing about this is that it's not a series, so I can, like, I'm not as hesitant to read it, and I'm desperate to read more of his books because The Spirit Bears Its Teeth was just so incredible in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. And again, these were arcs that were given to me over a year ago, and I only just got to Spirit Bears Its Teeth this year, but I have 2 more of his books, and this is one of them. And I've seen really good stuff about this, and upon doing my research, I saw that they might be making this into a film, so I need to get on that. This is a book that I found in a charity shop, so again, it's probably near the bottom-ish of this because it's not like a review needed for a publisher, but Billy Connolly's memoir, Windswept and Interesting. I've always loved Billy Connolly, and I love memoirs. If you're new here, I'm a memoir. Like, I fucking love a memoir, okay? But yeah, I feel like I'm going to read this pretty early on in 2026 because it's a chunky book and I've had it for a long time. And like, it's going to be one of my memoirs of the years, you know what I mean? Then I got fucking, I cannot believe I'm saying these words, I got sent Much Ado About Hating You. It's a romance and I'm so excited to get it. The cover I'm obsessed with. Again, I've heard mixed things about it. I think, do I have it here? No, I don't have it here. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. And like, I'm seeing, I have loads on my desk because I have nowhere else to put, I have no space. I'm seeing some here that like, I'll show you this one. I didn't put it on my to read list when I was planning this video, but this is definitely one of them, which is Raise Your Soul by Yanis Varoufakis, and this is a Greek author, and it's definitely a goal of mine to read as many Greek authors as possible in the next year. I'm Greek, so for me it's important to read stuff about my culture. This is about the history and resistance in Cyprus before we were ethnically cleansed by Turkey. And I have another book over there by a Greek author. It's a romance. And there's a couple arcs that I have and haven't gotten to yet. But my second favourite book of the year was Sour Cherry by Natalia Theodoridou, who is also Greek, queer, living in London. Literally me. So yeah, really important for me to connect with these authors and also promote them. I'm really grateful that this was sent to me, really grateful to get those arcs and also to support other fellow Greeks as much as possible, and also to learn more stuff about my culture and ancestry as much as possible, because, you know, there's only so much like your grandparents will tell you, and I want other perspectives. And also calling them my grandparents feels weird. That's my bapu and my yaya, for real. But yeah, he's a famous like politician or something, not politician, economist, something along those lines. So it's an interesting perspective in that sense as well. I'm looking here and there's like those pages where they have pictures, but I'm trying to, hello? I just want to see if they have any like Greek photos. Yeah, they do. Yorio and Anna on Boros. See, I'm obsessed. So yeah, this is also one of my like top reads. But there's so many because I have 1,000. So how can most of them not be? They're all on my TBR. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. One that I have had, I think this was the first book I ever got when I joined Edelweiss. I don't know how you fucking say that thing. I always forget. Which is why it's on my TBR, purely because of that. It was literally the first, and I've been on there for like almost 2 years now. Belgian Flats, I think by Chris Santella. I don't know if this was traditionally published. I have a feeling it wasn't, which is more so a reason for me to want to read it, because I want to support as many self-published authors like myself in 2026 as well. So there's that as well. But yeah, I want to get like the first book ticked off so bad. And then this one is a really unique reason. I want to read the Lady Upstairs by Jessie Elland because she's a friend of mine, and I actually am her manager for her influencer content. She is an actress and author and has quite a following online, and in this year it was like my goal to read as many books as possible by friends of mine, so I actually ended up reading most. I read Elysian Fields by 𝙂𝙀𝙀. I read The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I read Overspill by Charlotte Paradise, and also Elysian Fields by 𝙂is 'self-published, which was even more of a reason to support her in my opinion. And yeah, they all made it onto my top books of the year, and that's not just because I'm friends with them, but because I truly love them so much. They were just incredible books. And yeah, The Lady Upstairs is one that I really need to get to because I love Jessie. And yeah, it looks beautiful and I want to support her as much as possible. Then I want to read Water Moon. This was an arc, but also it has just intrigued me from the moment I saw it, so it's been on my TBR for ages. Looks like such a book I'd enjoy. And then I want to read Bride by 𝙂𝙧𝙧𝙀 because I've read most of Ali's books. Like I'm gonna read Bound, which is her second Spotify audiobook, because I read her last, I think it's like Two Can Play or something, her last audiobook only, and I loved it. I'm filming, so I feel like I'm gonna love this one. But yeah, I'm gonna read that in February because I tried to do an audiobook a month, so I've already got one for January, so I'm gonna read that in February. But Bride is one that I really want to get to, and then I obviously want to read Mate, which is the second book. And the only other one I haven't read by Ali is My Unproblematic Summer something, I can't remember, her most recent one. But she does so many, it's hard to catch up, but I want to read as many of hers as possible because she is an author by author for me. Like, I love all of her books. So, but Bride is definitely the top of all of them because that's like the oldest one out of all the ones that I haven't read yet. So it's up there. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. First of all, I got the arc for this. Second of all, I'm obsessed with the cover. Third of all, I've heard only good things. I need to read this. Then Invisible Women, which is one of many non-fic women's rights books I have, arcs, and in general. So I've had it for so long. It's kind of ridiculous. I really need to get to it. And I just haven't been able to. So yeah, I really want to read that. And then I'm not as close with this author, but we do follow each other, which is crazy to me. So it's kind of in the same vein as wanting to read Jessie's book, but Bingsu for Two. I remember getting the arc for this, and then me and the author spoke briefly and we followed each other, and she's awesome, but I haven't read it. so I'm like, okay, these are two people I know, so I need to read these books. And speaking of people I know, I also need to read a Bethany Rutter book, and I do have a Lindsay Kelk, so I will be reading her in 2026. There's so many. It's scary, there's so many. But yeah, those are my two top ones. But The Lady Upstairs is my top priority of those all. Then 1984, come on, it's a classic. I can't believe I haven't fucking read it yet. I already know what happens, I know the plot because it's a classic, but I still want to read it. And then hopefully I'll read a couple other classics. I have Animal Farm as well, so that will probably be read. But I need to read at least one classic because I don't think I read a single classic this year. To be fair, I read a lot of classics the year before, but we'll see. I need to. Then Sweet Bean Paste, which, if you know me, I love my translated fic, I love my short books, so this is right up my street. I also just found it in a charity shop for £1, so I will be reading that shit, bro. Yes, I will. Then Happy Bad and Underspin, and the reason I say them at the same time is because I got them at the same time. I haven't had those for a year yet, but they are arcs, so I need to get to them. But they looked so interesting, so up my street. I haven't seen anyone speak about them, so I'm really excited to read those. Another arc I got, but I've had this for a while now, is The Shoestring Theory. Again, so up my street. In the same vein of like the irresistible urge to fall for your enemy / I don't know, it gives vibes. It just gives the vibes, so I need to read that as well. Then The Light That Blinds Us. This is another Greek author. And also my Greek friend got it for me over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And like, most people don't get me books because they know that I get sent so many and I've read most of the ones that they'd probably buy me. So she bought me that and I was like, I love this, but I feel bad because it's been so long since she gave it to me, so I need to read it. And also it's a Greek author, so I need to support it, and it came from one of my Greek sisters, so I need to read it. You get me? Piglet is another audiobook I want to read. Just heard a lot about it, and it's one of the first audiobooks I saved, so that's there. The Vagina Business. I actually did some as a influencer manager with another influencer, and the publishers did a campaign on this book, which seemed so interesting, and I had it before I did that, but it's so long, it's quite intimidating, and in general I prefer short fic. I just do, but it's so interesting and it's so something I care about, so I will read it. It's probably going to take a little while, to be honest. Then Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon, another translated fic. I also got sent the ARC for this, and another ARC by the same author, so priorities. And finally, I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. The author of this actually died this year. I heard only good things, and I really relate to the concept of this book, so it's a memoir, so another one of my memoirs up there. But yeah, I feel like I really want to read that, and in memory of the author and to celebrate her life. But yeah, those are all the books I want to read this year and the reasons why. A lot of a mix: memoirs, lit fic, translated fic, classics, audiobooks, romance. It's all in there. Non-fic as well, aside from memoirs as well. So if any of this, and fantasy, loads of fantasy, if any of this seems up your street, let me know. Have you read any of these? What do you think of them? What's on your TBR for 2026? My reading goal is 125 books, so this would cover 25 of that 125. But yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Love ya.